only was their mission statement really interesting, and their emphasis is children, but they have family support there.
Yes.
And they talked about it. They have. You have to go to their site. One of the women who has a thing talked about the difficulty it is as a parent to go through this.
Yeah.
So they're a realistic site. It's not about oh gee whiz, let's make the kiddie whatever the kiddie wants to do.
And the truth is that there are a lot of sites out there. I was looking today, and there are a lot of sites that are devoted to helping families and parents deal with this. And in fact, I'm hoping that we can maybe link to some of these on our website, because they're exactly what somebody out there that doesn't know what to do. They're exactly the kind of place they need to go, and obviously we advocate getting professional help.
And if you're
this is sort of what True Colors is about.
At a little bit older age, it certainly is. If you're a parent that has a kid that is expressing differences, they may be legitimate developmental phases. They may be something more. You don't know.
You don't know. That's right.
One of the most important things is to connect with other parents of kids with differences.
Right.
So that the parents can get the support as well as getting information.
Absolutely.
Yeah.
Go ahead. You got a call, boy. You got a busy show. I'm getting jealous.
Good evening, nlcTrans. You're on the air.
Hello?
Hello.
Hi, Father Russ.
Hi. How are you? Clayton? Is that you?
Yep.
Hi, Clayton.
Honey.
Oh.
How you doing?
Good.
Good. I haven't seen you in a while, huh?
Like you're talking about kids.
Are you glad I'm talking about kids?
Yeah.
Yeah. I got to have you on the show, on my show.
You can come on our show too, Clayton. Clayton's adorable.
Oh,
Clayton's a little brat.
You have to go to bed now. I have to go to bed now.
All right. Good night,
Clayton.
Say hello to Grandma.
Yeah, hi, Tambria.
Bye-bye, baby. He's a sweetheart.
He's a darling.
You got to come on. You got to come on Father's show, Clayton, and we'll talk about schools and stuff like that. He's great. He is.
Yeah,
he is so cool. But again, isn't that great to have a kid call you?
Yeah.
When you're talking about kids.
Yeah.
But what I liked, and I'm not going to read. There was a whole article from a mother's recount of raising a transgender child, the agony of nurturing the spirit, and which obviously is is on that site, and it's fabulous. To give you insight, as you were saying. And my concern was when I was listening to the show and listening to you at your age, listening to Lily going through at her age, and I was saying, okay, I got that, but somebody was slipping down to these, the younger kids who do. All my kids displayed dress up, changes of but that was never suppressed,
Right.
The girls would wear, in fact, some of the girls wore hand-me-downs from the boys, and dressed like guys. I got all sports people, so who knew? I never knew until maybe they were teenagers where they were going, and I wasn't worried about that. But that's probably me.
Well, and even as young kids, they're smart. They pick up on what you're looking for. So if you do start telling them, no, you shouldn't be playing with those kinds of toys, and you tell them enough and you chastise them and you take the toys away, if it's just a phase, they'll probably grow out of it. If it's something more, they're just going to learn how to do it behind your back.
That's right.
And now you've taught them that this is something to be ashamed of.
That's right.
And that's going to take them 20 years to grow out of.
Yeah.
Well, I can tell all parents, you need to be open so your children come to you.
Yeah.
If you want a relationship, that's I was never good with wives, as both of you know and others know. But the children, I have been blessed in that area, probably because their dad was a nut and is a nut, and I was my children always open. There wasn't anything they could have done that I didn't do and paid for, so that there was always an expression that you can talk to Dad and let's deal honestly. About where you are, and you weren't going to get
It's a policy you
suppress.
pay into as
Yeah.
when they're young, so that they'll keep talking to you when they get older.
My cousin who's an attorney in California, what he used to say is, you pay into it. Better you pay into it with your openness and everything than later to pay into me financially in court. And it was a good right. He was right. You don't want him to make the mistakes. Obviously, I didn't want any of mine to make the mistakes I did, and I didn't want them suppressed in any way, in their development.
Right. That's an interesting thing, and certainly, parents obviously have to be watching out for this, and have to be open to this. And there's another factor here that probably if you're in that situation you wouldn't overlook, but in my case it certainly was, and I'm not looking to blame anybody or anything. I grew up in a time when being transgendered was simply not acceptable. But honestly, I'm not sure how my parents would have handled it, because I never got there. I was in hiding from day one, and part of the reason for that is that I had 2 older siblings. Mm-hmm. I had a brother that was 10 years older than me. My sister was a little older than probably would have been okay. I had a older brother who would have pounded me if I did anything feminine. And that was very clear. And part of that was self-imposed. Obviously, I idolized my older brother, and I wanted to be what he wanted me to be, even though it wasn't what I wanted to be. And I'm not blaming anybody for that.
No, but that's also the environment in the home that he grew up in, that
right.
you grew up in.
Yeah.
But what I'm saying is, for a parent, a parent can be open and understanding, but you also have to be a little bit careful about what the siblings are doing too.
Well, of course, you have to be aware.
You have to be aware.
I think, and believe it or not, I think really the experience for me that was the best, and we talked about this on a different show. I was obviously, people who know, at least for my show, you have maybe a different audience. I did prison time. I did 7 years in prison for the first time in the most violent prison at that time in the country, Walpole, Mass. But going in there, it was my first real connection with homosexuality, and gays were oppressed in those days, and I was homophobic. I grew up in an Italian environment, that, gays were gays, and, in my teenage years, you beat them up and robbed them in Boston and took their money, So let's be honest about that's the way. And I had a cousin that was, what did they call him? They said my cousin Joey was kind of like, funny. His second cut, Joey, who now is an artist and brilliant. That's how much they knew. But it was because he was raised with girls, they used to say. But you weren't supposed to. You were supposed to stay away from Joey, because like it was going to be.
It might rub off.
Yeah, it might rub off, right? Well, what prison
obviously
did,
it rubbed off from the girls to him.
What prison did for me, because of an experience I had in prison, I was told, well, what if your kids are gay? My reaction in prison was not good to something that happened. And my associates, my partners said, what's wrong with you? You're in here, these people are in here for life. You need to get your head straight, you know what I mean? What's wrong with you? And of course, my anger was such that what one of my partners knew, all my kids, what if one of your kids is? What if your kids are? What if